Thank you very much. So I will leave you to myself.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for inviting me to this conference. Well, I don't know. First of all, I think maybe it is proper that I, first of all, let you know what happened.
Yes.
In the election period.
Yes.
Is that okay?
You've got 15 minutes.
Right. Okay. As we went for elections just before the 31st of July, I personally went to, because I was standing for Gora West, which is in Manicaland. I personally went to Mutare, where we have provincial election officer for ZEC. And the 2 days before the elections, I was insisting on getting the voters roll. But finally, on the 30th, I was then told around about 4 p.m. that the voters roll had now been taken to Gora by the district election officer of ZEC. And that was the end. And so living there, obviously, it was, I had to go and make sure I deployed my election agents to their polling stations so that they would be there in time before the voting starts the next day. What I saw that day, I can say, you know, when I was moving around when people were voting, things looked very much okay. They looked like there was nothing that was wrong. It was peaceful. There was no violence at all. But you know, we just didn't know what was happening at that stage. And then at some stage, that's when I realized when I was approached by a bishop from a church. We had been visited by Mandipaka, the ZANU-PF candidate, and he said to me, look, I've been to a polling station, and then I was told by the person that was putting the ink that I should just pass on, because then I should also go and vote to the next polling station, because he had no ink. And then also, at that point, it was also then evident that there were no detecting machines in all the polling stations in Gora West. And I was later to realize that it was the whole country really. No, there were no detecting machines. And then revelation then came again just about the ink that if you only went and dip your finger into paraffin, then that would go away straight away. And then as we progressed going on, we actually witnessed, for example, even the driver of Manipala's driver, who was the ZANU-PF candidate, we noticed that he had voted twice. Because we went to a polling station where we were told he had been there, he voted, and when I moved to another polling station, again, we went there and checked, and he had actually voted on the hard copy that was available. So we then realized that something was actually going on. And there was a conspicuous absence of the main ZANU-PF players that we know in the area. We couldn't see them anyway. They couldn't be even seen at the voting station, or polling station. And so we didn't know what was happening. And then I got a call from here. Someone said to me, look, go and change all the pens in all the polling stations. And at that stage, I think it was around about 11, 12. And I can tell you by that time, most people had voted already. Right. Now, it later occurred to me, because, okay, just before, as we were going along, I was told that Mandipaka had been disappointed and he had actually, around 6 o'clock, he had gone to sleep. He had threatened, he went to the command center where he threatened our election agents and, asking the police to arrest them, but the police refused to arrest them. They said they haven't committed any crime and all that, and then I'm told he went to sleep. Then soon after the closing, around about 8 o'clock, that's when I got my first shock of what was actually happening on that day. I received a call from one of my polling stations in Ward 15 Ndongwe, those who know Gora, when you go towards Ndanda, getting towards Nyashana. Then I got a call. I was told that at that polling station, there were 300 ballot papers that were blank, that had not been voted. Okay, it was said the presidential one, Morgan Tsvangirai had 94, Robert Mugabe had 465. Then we went on to parliamentary. They said I had 138, and Mandipaka had 105. So it was not tallying. And then that's when I said, these figures don't really tally. Then I was told, no, we've got 300 ballot papers that are blank. So, right, and then thereafter, he then just put off his phone. And now he later told me that the presiding officer actually told him to stop discussing that issue because they were still ascertaining what was happening from the senior executive officials and what they would do. So later, it was around about 9:30. I phoned again my election agent on that polling station. And then I was then told that, no, all of a sudden, all the 300 ballot papers that were blank, the parliamentary one, it's now an X. And now the X, the 300 of them were actually on my path. So that's when I was shocked. Then I said, look, guys, did you guys leave the polling station? Or did you lose sight of the ballot, of the box that had those ballot papers? But they said, no, everything was just interconnected. You see? So then thereafter again, after getting where I come from, at the township where I come from, if you look at the 10 villages around that area, we could only count 5 houses where ZANU-PF, where people from ZANU-PF come from. Only 5, right? But we had 500 votes. And I had expected that out of the 500 votes, obviously I was saying I was probably going to lose, maybe Manipa was going to get around 20 votes out of those 500. Because it's a very strong MDC area, and they were expecting those results. But to my surprise, when the results came, that had 213 votes out of the 501 that had been voted. And so that again shocked us. It shocked me to wonder exactly what had happened, who had, on that day actually voted for ZANU-PF. So these are some of the things that were actually happening during that day. But then we later started to hear about, when the rest of the province, I started asking some other candidates in far places like Chikinge, Chimanimani, Mutasa, and all that. And I heard this was the same story. And then this is how then it started coming out that there was this ballot paper that was manufactured by Niku, that was then doctored in China, and then brought back to the polling station, to Zimbabwe for the election. And so we then all gathered, obviously, as a party, trying to look into all the rigging mechanisms that were used. And then we realized that they should have, unfortunately, the unfortunate part of the whole thing is on the ballot papers. I insisted on having those ballot papers, especially the ones at Ndongwe polling station. But they were denied to me completely. And I think as a party, we tried to get them as well, but it was denied as well. And now we believe that there was a way that those ballot papers were actually doctored in a way that was the people that were phoning from here were saying if you use a pen that is in the ballot in the ballot box, the pen will disappear. And so these are some of the investigations that are still going, that we still want to know exactly what happened. Because some people now believe that those ballot papers were actually voted. Because if you see the way it was done, it really affected mostly Manicaland, Masvingo, and Matabele South. And we have got stories that people were then now being buzzed from those areas into other provinces, where they were now using what we call the voter slips. Well, what was happening? They had said that if one does not appear on the voters roll, then it's because they probably registered late, and then obviously they should have a voter slip. So these voter slips, apparently they were played, so many of them, and those are the ones that are now being used. Because if you have got a voter slip, you didn't need to be to look elsewhere. All you needed was to present it to the polling officers, and then you could vote. And so this is a way that we understand again that they actually use that to a very big extent. So this is what's happened in my constitution mostly, and in Zimbabwe.
So the next question is saying.
So what, do you know of any dictator that has been removed by ballot box? And secondly, why did MDC go into the election when they actually know the history of ZANU-PF?
Maybe before we come to that, I was going to ask Mr. Matewu to reflect on what he sees coming in 2018. If there is anything to be done, then what is it?
Right. When it comes to 2018, what I believe is MDC as a party, we shouldn't go for elections before we have the reforms done. That's point number one. And when the reforms are done, it means then before we go to any election, we should ensure that we have got the voters roll, that we have verified the people, that everything is okay in that voters roll. And then also, on top of that, I believe we should also be part and parcel of the printing of the ballot papers, the storage, and the distribution to the various polling stations. I think that could probably make a difference. But like my friend there is actually pointing out, there's no dictator who has ever removed one from the ballot box. But now you see, the question is, this is probably that, I would say, it's very nice that you've got organized this sort of conference, that people may probably come up with other ideas. They think that that will help to remove Robert Mugabe from power. So that's why I also came over, so that at least we can also get ideas and probably share.